Well, hello folks. This is Barry's Best Honey. I'm Mike and I'm not doing bees. But normally I do, but today I don't. This is post Francine. We made it through just fine. It got a little bumpy. By around 11 o'clock, I actually did a damage assessment last night at about midnight. At 11 o'clock it got really bad, as far as bad as going to go. It wasn't like Ida, wasn't a terrible hurricane or anything. It was a weakening tropical storm as it came through. So it had started weakening to a Cat 1 just as it got around New Orleans, and then it was a tropical storm as it came to Hammond. And so it was still a strong one, but nothing like a hurricane. I think the highest recorded winds were somewhere around 50 or 60 as far as the gusts, and it was sustained around 30, 35 for most of the evening, and that's enough. It really gets things. It's a howling wind constant, so even though it's that much, that steady howling wind really gets you kind of nerve-wracking. It's kind of nerve-wracking.
Still blowing. Power keeps flickering like crazy, but power. You trim them limbs. It's not good for my roof. Oh, something hitting over there. Falling out of the trees. Oh, it's blowing hard. Alright, back out in front. This is where it's on the car here. Things coming down there. There's water over. Weakening, that's a good thing. Looks like it's tropical storm now. It's just south of Hammond. Hoping the winds don't get too much worse than they are now. Some back gusts. Lights flickered again. They have flickered, went off, come back on, come back off. I bet every orange on my orange tree is gone. That's crazy. It's leaning away from the house still. My gosh, that thing is swaying. I like to look at it. That thing out of there. That's the next one out. Oh, there goes the power. Alright. Good cow, the worst is coming through now. Holy moly, giant water oak went down. Oh man, this is bad now. That house next door. Oh man, you can see how far it went. That was a huge tree. I pray it didn't hit her house.
Nothing like Ida. Oh my gosh, that a couple years ago was awful, sitting through that. But we didn't have a ton of trees that could go down, and but the one big gigantic one that could, it did go down. But anyway, in the end, I thank the Lord. He protected us, watched over us, watched over our property, and the normal debris around the trees. And this isn't a lot. This is easy. This is easy money. This is chop it up with a. I'll go sharpen some of my older blades, kind of sharpen them up a little bit, throw them on the mower, and preserve my good ones. I'll chop every bit of this up with my zero turn. Truck's out there fine, no trees hit it. Mirrors are still intact. The shelters, the carport things are all intact. So very happy, and all the colonies are good. I put a block on top of that apame, but the wind really, it was coming from the left, so from the east and southeast, so it was protected anyway, but I didn't want to take any chances. But no colonies down, no lids blown off as of last night. Now I'm going to show you one that was a close call. I did have one tree. This got tightened up. I'm going to chop this out now, clear my path a little bit. The neighbor didn't have anything on her house. I went and checked her whole house. Yeah, so I thought maybe the tree that on my side of the yard had come down and hit hers, but fortunately it fell east and west. It did not fall north and south, but the bees are flying. Bucket stayed on. I ended up just throwing 3 bricks on that one. I was like, it's shielded. But they're doing fine. They're all flying. They're going out and looking for stuff. That colony over there is loaded up. Yep, everybody's flying. Oh, bringing in pollen. Look at the pollen coming in. Wow, I'm standing right in the middle of them. I hope they're not upset today. Need to set some pollen traps. Ooh. Yeah, so anyway, just a lot of little debris and all, that's it, and some branches down, and one gigantic tree that I'm just gonna have to whittle away at. I'll show you that in a minute. But we're good. I know Joey was fine. He didn't even lose power. We didn't lose power till 11 o'clock. Amazing. And the power grid is not that terribly red. Oh, my poor orange tree. So it blew all the branches down to the ground down there, so I gotta stake them back up. They're full of satsumas. Oh, that lemon tree, that's actually rootstock that grew up out of an old navel orange tree, and now it puts out nasty lemons. Now I keep it around because the bees, they like the flowers. Yeah, I gotta stake that back up. They're all laying on the ground. That's loaded with, that tree back there is loaded with satsumas. Rain-wise, 3.5, and I emptied it after 1 3/4 inches the other day, so just over 4. So that's good. 3.5 on the button too. All right, top the pond off for us so the bees have a place to go to water. Knocked over all my frames, and the one box I left out, it blew them off the stand, but that's all right. That's just old junky frames and boxes. I'll pick those up. The bees are active. They're all over. Getting pollen, that's interesting. So this tree, this was the only close call we had. And this was an old dead tree. I knew it was dead. I'm planning on taking it out in the fall, and I've just been hoping for the best. It's over the colony. And when I had my trees taken out, I didn't have the cash to finish up this tree because we took a big one out. And talk about a close call. There's only 2 branches that are over it, and they're smaller. I'm worried about in case the thing breaks at the middle right there. As long as the branches fall, it'll be fine. It'll miss the colonies, but you can see this one fell. That hitting the colonies would not have been good. And one branch fell on them, but all in all, they're okay. And everybody else is okay. The buckets all stayed on. Paving stones worked. And other than some water and some debris, all right, I'm gonna cut the camera and I'll go show you this last tree. But we're okay, we're good. And I honestly, I suspect power, I really do. I suspect we're gonna have power in a day or two. I don't think we're gonna go a week or so like we normally do. I really do think we're gonna get power back quick, because it just wasn't that widespread this time, which is amazing, and I'm happy for that. A bit of stuff thrown around, but I moved all the, so what I did with this pollen feeder is I braced it up because there's a bird nest in it. And I didn't want the bird nest to blow down, because I think the bird's in there still. So yeah, anyway, just minor, very grateful. Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord. So there's our water oak that went down. I was looking at it as it, oh wow, it took out a cherry tree. Oh, it took out a lot of trees with it. Didn't see that last night, but that's a huge water oak, and that's what's standing behind it, that water oak. And wow, it's wide open now. That was a big shade tree. But those water oaks are awful about falling and breaking. Now it was leaning that way, but it fell that way. It was leaning straight out there. Bad. And I thought, you know, I'm not too concerned because it's going to go out of the way. It's not going to hurt anybody. So I didn't pay to get it out, because that's a $2,000 tree to get out. Well, it's down now. First thing I thought was, I heard it. I came out, and this was the one I saw in an hour or so earlier. It was swaying so bad right next to, you know, I could see the branches swaying back over the top of the house. It's like, oh Lord, please don't let that thing fall on my house. Well, it didn't. When it fell, I thought, oh my goodness, did it get the neighbors? Because she doesn't need that. I'm sure, you know, she's just had her roof replaced in Ida, and all that was a fiasco. But it didn't. But what it did do, oh man, look at that cherry tree. So it came down. It's huge. It's a huge tree. It's going to be a lot of work. It's going to take me days and days after work here and there and everywhere trying to just cut it up. But it broke that cherry tree. Broke that cherry tree. Of all the trees to break, I wish it had broke all the old water oaks out, but it didn't. It broke the cherry trees out. It broke only one small water oak. Oh well. But that's going to be a hoss to get out of there. That's going to be a hoss to get out of there. Sometimes you can cut them back here and flip the stump back out, but this one ain't going to happen. I got part of my driveway. So we'll have to get this thing cut and hauled out somehow. I'll cut it, but then getting this thing out of here, that's going to be a problem. I'm just thankful that we have no damage and everybody's okay. Yeah, that one ain't flipping back up. It needed to be out anyway. We used to have trees throughout this entire yard. And then during Ida, if you see that video, 5 of them went down. Well, 3 went down and 2 halfway, and then you can see the 6th one is crooked. But we weren't leaving them 2 that were crooked laying toward the house up. That wasn't happening. They were going to fall in the house. Lord helped us get through that night without any damage. He kept that tree up because it was leaning, and the root ball was coming up, and it was leaning right to the head. It was huge. It would have killed us. But it's done, so we got it out, cleaned all the stumps up, got everything out of here, and just the live oaks are left now, and they seem to be standing every storm. They stand the test of time. And that pecan tree, I don't know if I'm going to take that out. I need to take that out. I like it because it tells me when the freezes are over. And I don't know that it's going to hit the house. I mean, it's right on the edge. The tips might hit the house, so I don't know. We'll see. We're all safe down here, and the bees are all safe. Might even get some bee work in this week if we get power on. We're doing good. We're fine. We're blessed. Everything is safe. We're sound. All right, then. Well, look, you guys have a great one. Hope you enjoyed this update. Barry's Best Honey. I'm Mike, and I'm cleaning up. Y'all have a wonderful week. May God bless you. We'll see y'all later. So folks, this is my setup. We're hardwiring the house with safety interlocks and night switches to make sure we're isolating the house only and run some power. That's enough to do the water pump, water heater. We can do them separate, but we can get hot showers. We can power all the lights, the fans, and if it goes on long enough, I can stick a window unit in my bedroom, and I have a window unit that'll fit in there, and we can air condition the bedroom so it can sleep comfortable. Runs the fridge, the freezer, all that good stuff. Water pumps, so you can flush toilets and get water out of the well. Can't do the stove, obviously can't do the air conditioning stove, can't do the dryer, but hopefully it won't be long this time out. But I didn't put it out last night. I didn't do it because you see it's on the outside, it's not under a shed, and what I don't want is wind and rain and something to damage my generator. I want my generator to be running when I'm ready to hook up power.